Pure luck.
Absolutely pure luck on this one. So, yeah, nothing but luck.
I think that paints a very good picture, but can you give us an idea of the scale of what you saw last night? You were right there. How hot was it? How big was it? How scary was it?
It's certainly one of the most significant fires we've seen for a while, and that's certainly the largest explosion that I've seen across my 35-year career with fire and rescue. Incredibly intense, and you saw the reaction that you had from the public taking the footage, and I can tell you there was a lot of very nervous firefighters when that went bang as well. So,
Was there any signal that was about to go off like it did?
yeah, shortly before that, we had some high-pitched whistling, which is an indicator that a pressure vessel on site is actually overpressurising, and that's a concern for us. And within 30 seconds of that happening, we saw that explosion.
So what's the situation on the ground there today? Is it under control?
Yeah, look, we've maintained our presence throughout the day. At the height, we had over 200 firefighters on scene. We've reduced that slightly during the day. The fire is contained, but we will be there throughout a number of days with the chemical clean-up and just working through the investigation.
You mentioned a pressure vessel. Was there any other factor there that led to an explosion of that size?
The site was a chemical recycling facility, so there was large volumes of quite diverse hazardous materials that ranged from a whole range of oils, fuels, etc., and a number of those pressure vessels, one of which actually, apart from this debris, launched and wound up over 200 metres away from the site. So again, very, very fortunate it didn't land on someone.
Yeah, on that, what sort of area is this? Is it an industrial area? Are we lucky that this was a Saturday afternoon, evening, not, I guess, peak hour, a busier time?
Yeah, it is a small industrial area in that little facility there, but just a matter of 150 metres away was the start of residential properties, so we did have an emergency warning in place just to let those local residents know to keep their doors and windows closed and give them as much advice as we could to keep them safe.
So you may know a little bit more about what sort of stuff was coming off that fire now. So beyond the obvious threat of that blast, there's a lot of toxicity in the air. Do you think that there was anything particularly dangerous in the muck that was being set off in smoke?
Yeah, look, it certainly highlights the risk that our firefighters face around the chemical exposures and stuff. And as we saw earlier in the week, we had the new carcinogen, the new cancer legislation for firefighters. So it's a real mix of a good example of the sorts of things that they're exposed to and the sorts of protections that they do need in place. But we did have our drones running around using chemical detection heads on those, monitoring the smoke plume, and we had atmospheric monitoring on the ground just to make sure that both the firefighters and the residents around the area were all safe.
200 very brave men and women on the ground there last night. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Great to talk.